Welcome back, you beautiful people, to your feel-good breakfast show. It is Expresso live on SABC3. You have made the right choice. You've come to the right place for all the information pertaining to the coronavirus. We have been running that rolling coverage and making sure that you are in the loop of all developments. And in fact, on Sunday, the news broke of the coronavirus hitting its first township in South Africa, and one case of COVID-19 was reported in the Khayelitsha township in the Western Cape. And of course, this has raised many concerns among citizens, as they rightfully should be concerned. Now, she has since been in isolation. That is the person who was found to test positive. We're now into day 5 of the lockdown in South Africa, imposed by President Cyril Ramaphosa last week. And as the country tries to curb the spread of the coronavirus, at least 3 people have unfortunately died from the virus. Now, joining us for a telephonic interview to give us an update on COVID-19 and the lockdown in South Africa, please welcome Western Cape Minister of Health. I'm talking about Nomafrench Mbombo. Sabona Mama, good morning. Welcome to Expresso.
Morning to you and morning to all of you. Thank you.
It's good to have you here. Thank you so much for making the time. Firstly, Minister, how have you been surviving the lockdown? Are you even surviving at all? Have you been keeping yourself busy?
We are busy. Like yesterday, I had a whole day of video conferencing interviews to appoint staff. It was a normal or arranged process prior. So the whole week I was still busy. So there is work.
Yeah, I think that it's definitely a rhetorical question to ask you if you have been busy, because we have seen that you have worked around the clock, bringing us all of these updates on a daily basis as they unfold. But now, with the news that the coronavirus has hit the township of Khayelitsha with one reported case, many people have been wondering about how this virus can be controlled or curbed in such a densely populated area as this one. How can it be contained and how can it be controlled in a space like that, Minister?
Of course, it's going to be a challenge, but I must just also indicate that whilst in Khayelitsha there might be this one case, we have been reporting about cases in other areas in the metro. Metro is divided into about 8 areas, which is the health administrative areas. Like the southern includes even the Masiphumelele, the Lavender Hill, and all of those. The western includes up to Atlantis. Fontaine includes the Philippi, Athlone, Gugulethu, and all of those. So, and Tigerberg includes the Elsies and all of those. I think now the spotlight for Khayelitsha and Mitchell's Plain is because the name of the area, the administrative area or region, is also the name of the suburb, hence the spotlight. But just back to your question about it, the isolation is one part of it. In other parts of where we detected positive cases, people could be able to self-isolate because they are not in that same kind of an environment. They've got their own places. Now, here in this space, we have to assist in terms of the isolation. Hence, the person now has been put together with a close contact into that isolation. The next part of it is to trace the distant contacts. Most of the time you'll find that a person might have met with a mother, let's say 3 or 4 days ago before the symptoms were there, or might have been met someone at a washing line and they had a conversation if the person was less than 1 meter. Then we have to trace those and look in terms of their well-being. And on daily basis, until 14 days has been completed, we have to make it a point that these people are well. Of course, the challenges of the densities, because we were talking about one case now, one may ask that, what's going to happen now if there are 5 or 4 or 3 or whatever cases? Already we have identified sites for the quarantine for those people who have been exposed. They have to undergo 14 days. We have identified also some of the hospitals that can accommodate those who are acutely ill. In instances, some of them will have in-between respiratory problems and so forth, where they can go to the hospital, but dedicated hospitals. Also, we have extended our testing sites so that for people who present with the symptoms, because remember now it's no longer an imported disease, because previously most of our cases were from the international travelers. But now we have seen the local transmission from people who have never even traveled before. So now we have to extend in terms of which sites that people can use. One might argue, say that, Minister, you have got 50-something hospitals, so how come that they cannot just go and test? I must indicate that because if you are presenting symptoms already, and it so happened that you are positive, and then you rock up and go to the EC, emergency care, and there are about other 50 people sitting there. And then when the test comes back 2 days later and says you are positive, it means that all those people who have been in the closer proximity have to be quarantined. Just imagine now, if all the staff who were taking care of you also within the less than 1 meter proximity, that now they have to quarantine, mean that we'll have shortage of staff. That's why one is to call the hotline so that they can make an arrangement which facility where you can go to, so that they can make arrangements, whether you can go via the back door and then there will be that person who will be wearing protective clothing and so forth in case that you are infectious.
Minister, it sounds like there certainly are measures in place to make sure that when these sorts of incidents do take place, that the people are able to get the help that they need. Thank you very much, Minister of Health here in the Western Province, Western Cape Province, Nomafrench Mbombo. Of course, this speaks to the fact that it's becoming far, far more real every single day. The closer it gets to us, the more heightened our awareness of the infection and the virus has to be.
Thank you.
And of course, you can get all of that information on sacoronavirus.co.za. And we'll continue to bring you updates as we unfold. Thank you, Minister.